Yo, what's up everyone, it's Nimpost. Today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the best Souljades for every weapon on Naraka Bladepoint. So what I'm going to be doing is every weapon in order with the Rift Dealer, starting from Longsword to Katana all the way down to the Halberds. So let's start now. Coming in at the #1 spot for the Longsword, I'm going to say it's Hep the Detach, as there's several different ways you can manipulate this. You could actually like throw the first blow away and then Hep the end of them. As you see, it has insane healing value, as I got like around 700 heals out of 180 damage. It's really strong. If you happen to hit both teammates too, it's like a guaranteed full heal. It's that broken. And like I said, you can manipulate it, throwing it one way and then hit them the other. Very strong. Learn to manipulate that and you'll have a OP weapon. Coming in second, I'm going to say it's Phoenix Blast. Now this one's better for just pure damage. As you'll see, the numbers are around like 1,000. Let me make sure I reset it so you get pure value. With a gold longsword, you're getting like 892, and that's with 6% attack. Obviously you can get more in the game, but you'll see the LMB is 892 and the RMB will be 810. By the way, LMB is horizontal and RMB is vertical. And of course, just to top off the longsword, you can pair the two together and have them work great. You'll get that 892 damage into the additional damage, making it 1088, and the insane heals that go with it. You really can't beat this Jade combo. It's just really god tier. By the way, I forgot to add something. The sap I feel is the best Jade on every weapon, as it makes all your parries heal you for a lot, and it's a one attack, so they can't use an F to break out of it. Very strong. Sap is honestly the best Jade you could possibly have for the weapon you're using. Now, a lot of them, their best is actually going to be their gold ones, but there are some that are purple. I'll explain that later. But Soul Slash is a really great one. As you can see, it has extended range for the focus. It guarantees into another focus attack, by the way. Another cool thing is you can mix people up with it. So people may not really expect you to release at the 1.0, considering that you have this option at 2.0 that's very strong. Just know it's very strong for mix-ups. You can really trick people a lot with it. And just keep that in mind, that this is a really strong Jade. So next we have Thunderstorm. As you see, the way that this one works is you'll hold focus and then you'll press vertical after your focus, and you'll see it has a crazy lunge. People never expect this, as the normal one does not reach near as far. But if you can connect this fully, it has insane healing property. Heals around 300, which is really nice, along with strong damage, as you're seeing, such as 575. Really good value, and you could combine this with Soul Slash into just crazy damage. So for the Katana, actually all of its Jades are strong and useful. So I'm going to showcase the purple as well. Now this one's Stamina Strike. It's the third attack, so on 1, 2, 3 it'll be altered. That's the vertical, and this one's a horizontal. As you see, just a new attack from what it normally would be. And these ones can combo into it for really good damage, and it also heals you on top of that. So as you see, I just had that good solid chunk of damage, and on top healed 340 health. This is the combo again. It's 1500 damage while also healing me. Very strong. Now moving on to the Greatsword, its best one of course is going to be Earthshaker. The way that it works is you charge up to level 3, and then after you release, you can just keep spamming your left click and just keep throwing it out. You'll see it'll have a final slam effect. Now that one they can dodge out of, and they could also parry, so you may want to be wary about that one. But as you see, you can just come in from an area from above and just do massive damage, as that was 2000. Very strong. Earthshaker definitely is its best Jade. Next you have Warrior Pace for Greatsword. All the rest are going to be purple. This one's very good. As you see, you run way faster while charging up. This pairs with Earthshaker very well, as you can run at your enemy and force them into parry and be scared, and then wait their parry out and start your Earthshaker. That'll be very good. So just keep that one in mind. Another great strong option will be Infernal Slash. So on your first or second charge state, you can get a fire damage attack involved with your focus. This is very good, as it'll do 1000, and then on top of that, just keep burning them. If you have a Valda on your team and they're soaked, it'll do the instant burn. So let's say you hit that 1000, and then it'll burst for also like an additional 240 or so. Very powerful. Now to showcase the final Jade for Greatsword, it's going to be Overlord. Now this works is if they clank you, it'll instantly proc level 3, and you can proc your Earthshaker right after. The reason why this is strong and good is a lot of time people will try to clank your Greatsword and dodge out and try to avoid it, or dodge directly into a parry. But with Earthshaker, it could track them down really fast, faster than they could do their parry frame after dodge. and just get huge damage on them. Now moving on to spear, we have Heartstopper Kick as the number 1. The best thing about it is the fact it silences, so if you 2-charge directly into them, they'll be silenced and they have to eat the whole entire Dragon Slayer after pretty much. Another thing you can do is if you charge it up to a 2-charge, you can go a different way on purpose, and then you can cut back to them into the attack string. That'll mind game a lot of people and catch them off guard. Just gotta keep in mind that you can be parried. Next we have Razor Swift. Now the way this one works is it's also based off the 2-charge, but it'll have an altered second attack. This one's amazing for crowd control, so if there's more people involved, it'll kind of vacuum them into that and do massive damage. And of course you can pair it with Razor Swift, so yet again you can do the mind game the other way, go at him and then get this and get a huge crowd control while he's silenced and can't do anything about it. Very powerful. Moving on to the dagger, there's going to be a bunch of jades. The absolute number 1 after its buff is probably Dreadful Wail, but if it's not Dreadful Wail, I'd argue that it's Assassin's Lunge next. But how to use Dreadful is you have to do a dagger dash, meaning you attack like a dodge directly after your attack, and then you hold your vertical button, and then it'll just pull them in. As you see, it's a gold focus now, so it recently got buffed. Also, it vacuums them in very well. Before it didn't do that, so it's definitely the number 1 jade now. Also massive damage. Coming in at number 2, we're gonna say Assassin's Lunge. So it's the same thing where you get the dagger dash to the side, but instead of holding vertical like you do with Dreadful, instead you hold you just tap your horizontal after the dodge. As you see, just tap horizontal. It's very sticky. Your teammates can get focus attacks off of it, and you can also string it over and over as long as you have a teammate distracting him so he doesn't parry you, and it can be massive damage. What I'd put as third, I'm gonna say Pride's Fall. The way that this one works is you now have a 2-charge on your hold horizontal. If you time it right and they don't parry, you can get this slam into a good solid heal of 250 with a good chunk of damage too, and your teammate could be waiting at the bottom of the focus attack and just make huge damage happen. Alright, coming in at 4th on dagger, but I also find it the most underrated jade of all time on any weapon, Nether Step. So your dashes can be performed repeatedly with less stamina, so you can actually just spam it over and over. As you see, I was able to get 4 dashes. You can also lead that into a soul break, so you can really confuse your enemies by doing multiple like that. For example, they may parry already. It's just very strong, and you can get really movement based with it, such as like running away as well. Now moving on to Nunchucks, the absolute number 1 will be Dragon Roar. Okay, so it's going to take a minute for my meter to build up, as Dragon Roar automatically builds your meter up. You'll see, there goes the meter. Now with Nunchucks, if you hold to a 2.0 state, you get this thing called a meter dump. And the way that it'll go is you charge it up to 2, and then it'll have the secondary attack that goes to gold focus after a couple. And as you see, huge damage and insane crowd control. One thing I quickly wanted to mention with Dragon Roar to help you guys is the first attack after you release it is going to be blue, but then the next are all gold. So you can throw it away from the enemy, as I just showed you, and then lead it to them after. So like I'll show it again, throw the first part away, and then dump the rest after. And it'll all be gold focus, and they cannot parry you. Now the second best jade will be known as Trigger. I'm going to showcase how you can use that. So if they hold a blue focus at you and you're holding your left horizontal, it'll clank as you see, and you can go straight to your Dragon Roar off that. It's super strong, so again, to activate it, you have to hold your horizontal button. Right now I have velocity on. It will not look like this. Actually, let me take it off the showcase. It'll look like this. And if they throw a blue at you while you're holding that, yet again, you can throw your Dragon Roar the other way and then turn back around when it's gold and do massive damage off of the Dragon Roar combo with meter dump. Alright, now lastly for Nunchucks, we have Velocity. Now this one's a very quick attack. I would say it's one of the hardest to parry, along with Blistering Edge from the Polesword. We'll get to that later. But you have a lot of timing that you can hold this for and trick people into it. As you see, that's the max hold time. There's a lot of time in between where they can throw a parry, and you can wait for their time window to end and just release it. Solid damage, very quick, hard to counter. Now moving on to Dual Blades, the best jade by far will be Cavalry Bloom. So your hold left click or horizontal, instead of being the basic one where you stand still, as you see here, it'll actually run towards them. This can mind game a lot of people and just turn back really quick at them. They usually never expect this because obviously it's stationary, so if you're this far, there's no fear for them. But sometimes you can catch them off guard and just release. They don't expect it. Quick damage, and it's just an insane jade, honestly. Next we have Universe Slash. Now this Jade does absolutely insane damage. You hold your vertical to a 2 charge and it'll throw it. As you see, 1100 damage. That's really high value. But that's not the best thing about it. It's the mind game involved. Since people see you do this animation, they will know that you have this Jade, which means you can switch up your timings to the regular 1.0 or even do a 1.5. Or people may parry too early because it is quite a long animation. Parry too early and then you get to throw in for big damage. Now coming into staff, this one has a whole lot of insane Jades, so there's going to be a lot going on with staff. But the best one is Merciless Havoc. It's very similar to Dragon Roar. If you 2.0, the attacks after, they start off blue as you see, but they go gold. So same thing applies. You can actually send it the other way. And then when it goes gold, you can start sending it at them. Very strong, quick, good damage. And unlike Dragon Roar, there's no meter to build up. It's just permanent. Next you have Stanchion. Another strong thing about it, like all the other ones, it has a new animation, which means it has a mind game. Anytime you see a move that alters the animation, there's always going to be mind game involved, as they will most likely think you're going to use what's best for it. But that's where you can trick them and actually just use basic things. But if you get the 2.0, it'll silence them, which means all these converting attacks after are for free. They will not be able to break out of it, so that 1200 damage is guaranteed as long as you land the silence. Now lastly for the staff, you have Jabbing. This alters the basic horizontal. As you see, normally it'll do the toe tapping one, but instead it's just a quick throw. This one actually has insane range that a lot of people underestimate, as you're seeing here. Absolutely insane range and very strong damage, so you can make really good use of this Jade. Now just like the Greatsword, the Polesword also has Overlord. I'm not going to get into it because I already showed it with the Greatsword, but as you know, if they flank you, it instantly goes to level 3, which means you get a really nice focus attack. But for the best Jade, for the Polesword, it will be Blistering Edge. As you see, it comes out very fast and it has burn damage applied on top of it. So yet again, if you have a Volta teammate and they're soaked, huge damage really fast. A lot of people just don't see the timing that's coming, as the animation is just so fastly released. It's very hard to parry and it does great damage. Now ironically for the Polesword, the worst Jade will be its gold, and that's because it is very easy to parry, as it does look really cool and it does do strong damage, as you're seeing really big damage values. You are in blue focus the whole entire time, so if any enemy jumps in your way with a jump parry, you will get parried. It's the easiest Jade to parry in the game, so that's just why it's not very good, but the damage value can be crazy if you pick up a whole team with it. Now moving on to the last and final weapon, we have the dual Halberds. These are the newest to the game, so let's get into it now. The Dragon Link will be its number 1, as its range goes way crazier on the horizontal, so you can track people down really hard and trick them off guard. It just has so much range to it and massive damage outcome with the 820, as you're seeing. Now you could also pair it with its second best, which is Benthic Descent. You do the horizontal straight into that vertical, just huge damage, and your teammates can also get a blue focus off of that. So I just put these two together as they're both insane and they do best when they are together. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope this Soul Jade breakdown helped and also let people know about the best Jades for each weapon. I really appreciate all the support I've been getting. You guys are insane. I'm almost at 1,500 subs. I never thought this would be possible. I really appreciate all the love, and I will see you guys in the next video.